There's a book that I really like called The Woman and the Ape by Peter Hoeg, this Danish author. And I think this is an enlightenment story in a way that is probably not immediately accessible for anyone reading it. It's not something that is in the genre of any kind of spiritual book or teaching or anything. It's a novel, a kind of fantasy, not really sci-fi, although if you count biology and evolutionary theory and stuff like that as science, which of course it is, then this is sci-fi. Though often sci-fi people think of more, metal, technology, physics, future stuff. But so this book, I think has some really, really beautiful aspects to it. And one of the main characters, Erasmus, who is a kind of ape, he says something about his culture and his people that really stuck with me. And the way I would put it is that his whole culture is something of an ideal for humans to become. And he says something about, there's a saying among my people that the things you talk about never come true. As in, if there's something that in your heart you want to aspire to, you want to work for, to not talk about it. And that's something that, for my nature, is difficult. I mean, I always want to talk about everything. And it's really cool for me to hear something like that, because it also relates to my epiphanies relating to the word ausglühen that I talked about in a video about a week ago, where it's always an option for me to talk about something. I can still always bring it up. So why not try to not do that, just for as long as I can, and just see what can be learned from that. And in my experience, that's a lot. A lot of this, and this is a bit of a venture here, but a lot of this dualistic realm type of suffering we have has to do, or in a way all of it, with mind identification and this idea that thoughts are something that they're not, that our entire reality is just these thoughts. And so when we speak out loud in coherent verbal thought, we manifest this thought in a way that makes us think it's, again, more real than it is. It's not unreal. It's just not the exclusive reality. And not the reality at all, but a reflection of it. And so anyways, when we are always talking about things, bringing them into this reality, into this shared space between us and other people and all of that, it just makes it even more tempting to buy into the reality of that world the thoughts are creating. And so when you don't say something immediately while you're thinking it, or after, other things happen. And one thing that I've noticed happening a lot is just that something that felt really urgent just simmers down. And then it's something else than I thought it was. And I wouldn't have known about that had I acted on that first impulse. So for someone like me, this is a great exercise in patience, because it doesn't mean that I'm shutting up about everything, about things I should be talking about as well. It just means that I'm giving myself an option that I didn't know existed, from which I have learned a lot, and which has just improved my overall contentment. I start to have doubts again about even saying a word like improved, because I don't want this to be like a competition or a race, or again something for the mind to see as a goal. But without those connotations, it still does just improve the quality of my life to be calm and content about these things. So with that qualifier, I suppose I can let it stand.